market.
And also, if you stay with me this morning, I'll tell you why Appiah-Ampofo intends not to, appear in court. And now let's settle for the details of the stories. Let's begin with IMF, because Ghana is expected to receive the first tranche of $600 million out of the $3 billion bailout today. This was disclosed by the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, at a news conference. Here's a news desk report.
There's a $600 million release. I'm sure I'll be working with him to see whether we can get it by tomorrow. And then we move on to the next 6 months, which will be another $600 million. And then we have about 5 different tranches every 6 months in the periods forward to get to the $3 billion.
That was the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, suggesting the receipt of the first tranche of the $3 billion deal by Friday, May 19. Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, while confirming the receipt of a swift alert of the much talked about first tranche, brought the needed certainty.
Just for your information, we have had a swift advice today to receive the money, value date tomorrow, to $604 million US dollars.
Mission Chief for Ghana, Safan Rudet, emphasized the need to broaden the benefits of the program beyond the monetary intervention, but extend to policy fundamental reforms.
This is a program that is very rich in its structural component. It includes many reforms that cover a large range of sectors, and these reforms will make the economy more resilient to shocks in the future.
In a related news, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has said that the social intervention programs that were introduced by the government will not be touched following the $3 billion bailout from the International Monetary Fund. Asked whether the Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty, LEAP, and the Free Senior High School programs are going to be affected by the IMF bailout, Mr. Ofori-Atta said at a joint news conference in Washington yesterday that there's no cause for alarm.
Government is implementing 44 different social protection interventions to reduce poverty and bridge the inequality gap in the country. Popular among them are the Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty, LEAP, the Ghana School Feeding Program, and the Free Senior High School Program. The work concerns these interventions would be affected as government finds avenues to cut down spending as part of fulfilling requirement for an IMF bailout. But the Finance Minister at the joint news conference with the IMF says the interventions will rather see increased budgetary allocations.
The issue of ensuring that we protect the vulnerable is very clear in the program. So I think we have increased the resource envelope for the school feeding program. We are doubling, I think, the LEAP program to ensure that the welfare support continues. So no, we should not worry about that. And you have always heard the president being very clear about ensuring the protection of lives and livelihood.
If you're just tuning in, you are listening to the first news bulletin here on 3FM 92.7 with me, George Quinn. And meanwhile, the minority in Parliament, in reaction to the completion of processes leading to the IMF's executive board approval of Ghana's request for a fund-supported program, says Ghanaians should brace themselves for more hardships under this very program. And to other news, actually, let's also listen to some, experts on this very bailout.
No, it doesn't worry me, because what happened today is part of a PR activity for both the IMF and the government of Ghana. But indeed, they have been told what to do about the free exchange to review it and to make it more to the needs of the people of Ghana. So that will be done. Definitely that will be a review of the program to make it more accessible to all the people of Ghana. So having a social protection part of the program is normal. We have social protection as part of the earlier IMF program. So if we have social protection again in this one, I do not see anything wrong with that. But the target of the fund is to make them more productive, to make them more efficient.
Look, what we are doing is that we are deferring the debts. So there should be no, as I said, there should be a bit of soberness in it. There should be no celebration, party or anything, because what we are doing is suspending payment. And the negotiation with the external creditors to suspend payment.
You heard former Finance Minister Seth Tekpe and the Dean of the University of Cape Coast Business School, Professor John Gachi there. To other news, a member of the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament, Peter Lanchini Tobu, says the police service has laid down internal rules and that must be utilized first. And this is after 82 police officers sued the Attorney General, the Ghana Police Service, and the Inspector General of Police over failure to promote them despite being due after completing their studies. All the plaintiffs applied for the 2017-2018 academic year study leave with pay program for tertiary courses ranging between 2 to 4 years. According to Peter Tobu, however, and the police administration and police council must settle this out of court.
The police service has laid down mechanisms to deal with internal grievances. Every police officer has agreed to the point that you have to go to court means that the internal processes have not helped you enough. But I don't know how far they have gone with believing and trusting that the internal processes will work. If all they have done is let's go to court, I will be disappointed. But if they have petitioned the police management board without any response, they petitioned the police council headed by the vice president of the Republic of Ghana, and there is nothing that they have received from the police council. And they are so frustrated to the point that they can only get resolution or relief from the court. The police administration cannot be run from the court.
And now let's talk some legal matters. Tiger IP has taken notice of the ruling by the High Court sitting in Accra to allow undercover journalist Arnas Arimeya to testify wearing mask in open court on condition that he shows his face to the accused person in the judge's chambers first. And as much as Arnas is willing and ready to testify for the prosecution, doing so under the conditions specified by the court presents a clear and present danger to his security and safety, especially because of the issues chronicled above. Under these circumstances, prudence requires that he declines the invitation to endanger his life and accordingly declines the invitation to reveal his identity to the accused person in the judge's chamber or any other place. Tiger endorses the position of Arnas and states that it is proper and wise to err on the side of caution to avoid any potential attack on another of its investigations. And we will surely be following up on this very development and update you in our subsequent bulletins. Moving on, the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission (PURC) has announced an increase in water tariffs to take effect from June 1, 2023. The decision, the Commission said, was made in cognizance of the cost of electricity, increased volume or cost of chemicals for raw water treatment, exchange rate, and inflation. This comes shortly after the PURC announced an 18.36% increase in electricity and gas tariffs for all consumers following its review of the second quarter of 2023. This decision was taken to prevent prolonged power outages and the associated negative impact on employment and livelihoods, while also trying to minimize the effect of the rate hike on consumers. Implementation of the new rate for electricity also takes effect from June 1. And our managing editor of the Daily Dispatch newspaper and poster, Ben Efson, says the NDC risks losing the Ketu North constituency seat. According to the poster, the manner in which the national executives of the party handled the primary by declaring Adam Agbana winner, though the EC declared a tie, may breed dissatisfaction and apathy among NDC faithful. Take a listen.
They think that Adam Agbana is popular. They should go for a rural. Are you with me? I'm just talking as an observer, as a political analyst. If the MPP is smart and they filled a popular person who is in this man's camp, because once it was split, that made the gentleman too is popular. If they get somebody from his camp, an organizer or a full soldier who will campaign for the gentleman. If they get somebody to go independent, Edna Agbana will lose the seat.
And you heard managing editor of the Daily Dispatch newspaper and poster Ben Efson. The Ghana Institute of Architecture has attributed the recent building collapses to lack of implementation of findings and recommendations by the institute. 7-story buildings collapsed within a week in different parts of the country, claiming 3 lives and injuring several others. The latest being a 3-story building church at Botiano in Accra on Tuesday, May 9. The president of the Ghana Institute of Architecture, Appiah-Ampofo Akono, expressed worry over the incident.
All the four professional bodies for the built environment have come together to form an ad hoc committee to investigate the collapse of these 4 buildings in 4 different locations of the country, and to come up with recommendations said that this event will not occur again. And we already have strategies to make sure that this wouldn't occur again.
Appiah-Ampofo Akono is the president of the Ghana Institute of Architecture. Before we go, residents of Taifa Burkina in the Ghana East municipality are bearing the brunt after yesterday's downpour, as many homes were flooded and several walls torn down. Residents have attributed the situation to an ongoing road construction, demanding the assembly quickly completes the project. Here's a report by my colleague Richard Whiteado.
The rains caused flooding which gushed into homes. Several homeowners had their concrete fence walls caving in. With the onset of the rains, the residents are demanding immediate action from the Ghana East Municipal Assembly.
It was a terrible experience. All my things are gone. I have been living here for the past 10 years, but I have never experienced this problem until they started this road construction.
Because they say no,
We are appealing for support because all my things are gone. My kids and their school will be affected because their belongings have all been destroyed.
Some residents alleged the contractor had abandoned the project.
The drains are small. Because of this, water cannot flow through the garages. We have consistently drawn the attention of the assembly to it, but no action.
But maintenance engineer for urban roads at the Ghana East Assembly, Caesar Saki, denied the allegation.
2 weeks ago, we did an excavation. It was around a Saturday. So after the course of work, there was a rain, and the rain was not able to go through because the excavation has not been completed. So it happens that some of the rainwater have to go into people's houses. If I finish speaking with you, I will call the engineer on the site, and then possibly maybe tomorrow morning.
For now, residents' only hope is for the contractor to resume work.
On that report, we end the mornings. Before we go looking at our top stories, Ghana expected to receive first tranche of $600 million out of the $3 billion IMF loan bailout today. And retired Superintendent of Police Peter Tobu wants the Police Council and President to intervene in the suit against the IGP by 182 police officers. Plus, Public Utilities Regulatory Commission (PURC) announces an increase in water tariffs to take effect from June 1, 2023. Residents of Taifa Burkina in Ghana East Municipality bear the brunt after yesterday's downpour, as many homes were flooded and several walls torn down. My name is George Quinn. For more news updates, you'd want to log on to our website, it's streetnews.com. In a world where you can be anything, just be kind. It costs nothing to be kind. Thanks for listening. Always a pleasure coming your way. Good morning.